am Tina Cat and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing the letter. Previously, after thinking that there was nothing in the closet, after opening it, Ash gets tugged basically under the bed by the ghost, and then he escapes, and then we run away with a group of friends, and after staying out all night in the park, basically, the three, well, mostly Becca and Isabella start fighting, and Ashton yells at them, and then Ashton's like, I just need to be away from you right now, and then it goes into the car, and then everybody somehow calms down, goes to the car too, and now we're at a bar. That's pretty much where we left off. Alright, let's continue. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, bartender, G, or just G to his regular patrons. Might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of the city. If there is anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well, surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, cares to some extent for people he likely only sees once or twice a week, or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down. Whatever inhibitions anyone has, it all flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me, opinionated. It's me, opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help. When I'm met with a dead end in a case, or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. Yes, the bar. I wonder if we're going to run into the architect here. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. A single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything. And the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G is busy wiping each of them clean, likely preparing for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stools and grab a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on this same spot, just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking, in the first place. Yet, oddly, it's the nasty odor of brewery that helps clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of establishments, usual hubbub, and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth has curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of it. He wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focused back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat. Going through the motions with such familiarity. It's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this. One possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct, and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to look into it and break inside that place. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there. Why did I ask if the real estate agent will be there? She's stuck in a dungeon and I know that. Anyways, back to story. Where all of this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here. There are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. Or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion. And now there are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice of my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. At some point, they all begin to blur together, twining and coiling every horrid little image and memory of her, seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can, the vision comes to me like a dolge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You doing good there, boy?
His hand is on my shoulder, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct. The concern in his eyes. It's deeper now, mirrored marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people, after all, even someone who can be as closed off or distant like me. In all the time I've spent in the force, there's only one other person who's as keen as this guy. This old guy, the chief. Funny. And weird to some degree. I pointed it out to him so many times before, how much they look alike, only for the observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. I've never brought it up again after the third time, out of respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thoughts not to come up. He even has the glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still clearly with a clear picture in my head. No.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
Ugh.
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since they closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Probably not. Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
Ha! In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Oh my, really? That's interesting. Tell us more, bartender.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
That's not how it works.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
Yeah, you never know what people believe in.
You know that mansion down at Anslem?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there, unmoving. His hand stops short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to the rack on his left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He probably assumes I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I've been put in the same position. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is just desperation creeping in. The idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Now, it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare, where the only way out might be death. And, like I've expected, G's reaction to it, an amused laughter. It booms through the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with that. You're on your own. Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
Oh, Ash. He shakes his head without another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half of the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the sommelier kind. Why did I call it that? The smaller kind. Used for shots, and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his tasks, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if I'm simply another customer. He entertains with his stories. But we both know it's more than that. If the wistful expression on him says anything...
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. Are you telling me I screwed up a lot, game? I know. I'm aware. Don't have to be so mean about it. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
No, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stopped calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause follows at its heels from both of us as he allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Journal updated. not relationship. Journal. No, right. J. After the argument at the park, Ashton took his friends someplace where they could rest. G welcomed them to his pub without a question. While the others were sleeping, the detective and the bartender had a little chat about the past and what had changed over the years. So is the last day going to be the first because it's after Halloween? Like that's going to be where I see the ending? And I have a whole character to play after Ashton. I wonder what Luke will bring. Though, before I can even clarify what he's trying to imply, or why does it still say new journal entry? Didn't I read you? Is there some other journal entry that I didn't see? Okay. I lost my place. Though before I can clarify what he's trying to imply or gather my thoughts on the one matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverwares. He'll need those too, once more of his patrons come in for lunch. Slow and easy. A sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through these past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of its absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. So, when it all ends, the sound of my phone ringing, a sigh is all that leaves me. I'm glad he put it on vibrate so I wouldn't have to listen to his ringtone again. I placed the damn thing on low volume last night, but it doesn't nothing to keep it quiet. I don't even know if I want to answer it right now. It has brought me nothing but one bad news after another. Thinking back about it only makes me want to chuck it into the closest trash bin I can find. Not that it'll help things, of course. Another exhale slips past my lips before I put it out quickly, swiping over the screen without checking the caller ID. After all, the ones who will worry or fret over how awful I might sound right now are here with me. My parents never call around this hour, so chances are it's probably just Chief or Abigail. There's Zach, but he's in a position where contacting me is impossible. Placed in jail by some scumbag for a crime he likely didn't commit. No use pretending what I'm not when it's anything but.
Inspector Frey speaking.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to bother you this early.
It's Donut Man.
What is this about?
It's about your friend, you know? The guy I called you about yesterday, the one they got in the night before.
Uh-oh.
Zachary Steele.
Oh no. This can't go well. His hesitant note does nothing to diminish the lump that has suddenly lodged itself in the base of my throat. What are the chances? What are the chances that something went wrong while I'm not looking? While I'm out here brooding, of all things?
How is he? Is he doing okay?
We actually have a problem, Detective Inspector.
Hasty assumptions aren't a usual fare in my book. That shouldn't change right now. The precinct is secure. It's supposed to be. They have guards manning the station 24/7. If anything happens, all Zach has to do is shout and someone will be there for him. Even if it's a phantom going after him, he should be safe there unless people are assholes and ignore him. He should have been. Yet, none of these reassurances will allay my suspicions. And whatever little thread of hope I'm hanging on to frays slowly as each second of silence passes by. An expectation so weak, faint, I might as well just let it go and prepare myself for the worst. It's a feeble attempt at optimism I will never get used to. This is out of my depth. This isn't my forte. Zach's, maybe. Rebecca's too. Never mind. Hell, this is the kind of mood Isabella has always unknowingly brought with her. What her eyes often convey. What I've often found myself searching in her whenever I look to them. But no matter how many times I repeat any words of comfort or calming images inside my head, the hollow chill at the base of my stomach refuses to ease. Even my voice shakes when I urge Officer Renz to speak again, weak and unsteady. The only thing keeping me from stumbling when I abruptly stand is the counter's solid support beside me. The flat of my hands braced against it for leverage.
Officer Renz. Renz, right? What happened? You're supposed to keep an eye on him, yeah? It's protocol.
Your friend, sir, he's... I think it'd be better if you just saw it yourself, sir. This isn't something you should be hearing over the phone.
Of course.
Chief Inspector Lee wants you to report in as well. It's about the case Luke Wright filed yesterday and...
The rest never registers. Rather, my brain refuses to acknowledge any of it, not even the possibility that this might just be a terrible joke. All I can think of is the suffocating dread and the piercing noise, white and deafening, ringing in my ears despite the bar's morning hush. I was right the first time, hush. There's only Zach. Only the whole expanse of Luxborn's separating me from the one person I still believe safe in the whole fucked up situation we found ourselves in. Along with the voices, vile ones, whispers that taught, jeer, and mock, each vague utterance growing relentless as I make my way out of the bar without another word to G, and slide back into my car. So we're just leaving Isabella and Becca behind, I see. Okay. Driving off with my body on autopilot, mind in a daze and afraid. Utterly afraid that this time I have permanently lost someone in my life. Journal updated. A phone call interrupted Ashton's conversation with G, although the officer calling him had only given him vague details. Gut feeling told him that something had gone wrong at the mere mention of Zachary. The detective hurried to the precinct, expecting the worst. I love this picture. I guess I have to click on something else. Otherwise, it's not going to act like I read the thing. And I'll just see new entry in the corner of my eye for the rest of the game. The whole precinct is in an uproar. Except for this guy who just looks like he's going, this crossword puzzle's difficult. Okay, we'll end this episode here, and we will see what happened to Zach in the next episode. I am TatoCat. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.